All right, this is a quick review of FutureView.app. This is a project that's been promoted by OTC_Bitcoin on X and other platforms. And so I've become a member, early access member. I have an account here, and I'll show you some of the features and functions. So let's go ahead and start at the account space. One of the things you'll want to do is make sure that you've plugged in all of your profile data, including your Telegram, because that's the way that you'll be able to connect with your potential matches. And then you can also enter a referral ID if you were referred by somebody. And if you find out about this through me, you can use my referral ID, jacob-griscom. I don't think there are any sort of unique tracking links right now or anything like that. But go ahead and use my ID. I also don't know what benefits you get by using my ID, but there's probably something to using it versus not using it. So go ahead and use it, jacob-griscom. Then you'll see after doing your data analysis and other elements here, you will be able to generate a list of soulmates that you can connect with on Telegram. And I think you have just one use in the free area. So I clicked on the first year of apparent compatibility here with a dragon, and that's at BFM FTW, for example. All right, so there's a whole list of them here that I could potentially connect with. And if you want to connect more, you can buy individual connections, or you can increase your membership to access more of those. So the first thing you're going to do is go to date analysis after you've filled out your account information. You'll add your complete birth date. Try to find your actual birth time so that you can fill that in as well. That is a variable that matters. And then you can also say if your current city is similar latitude to your birth city, and you can analyze. Now I've already analyzed here, and you can provide feedback. This is a new app, so do go ahead and share any kind of feedback that you can. So once you've done your analysis, you have two options: feedback or check your compatibility with others. Let's go ahead and view our saved analysis. Here's mine. I am a rat. And it gives an overall summary of the rat, my strengths, my weaknesses, occupations, who to look for. So here are the dragons and oxes that are recommended, and then who to avoid, horses and roosters. And then it drops into the more specific elements that I have throughout my year, month, day, and hour. And it indicates what that's going to help strengthen and what's that's going to weaken based on the elements that I have and the ones that I do not have. Now, I think what makes this unique, here's my assessment of this, is that it's a lot like Western astrology versus Jyotish, where Jyotish in India has been highly calibrated and kept up to date to the actual position of the stars and planets, whereas Western astrology was kind of set and then lost. But these bodies are in dynamic position, and the general philosophy of astrology, not just as entertainment, but as a real science, is that these massive bodies reflect elemental energies that govern everything that's smaller than them and within their gravitational fields. So where and when you're born creates a certain imprint. And then as you move through the day and the cycles of the days and seasons and hours, that imprint that you have is interacting with these large elemental forces. And so these have a very real and definite effect, not just on who you are, right? Or it might not even be who you are, but that who you are comes in at a certain time and place that is harmonized with who you are. So not so much that you're just born at a certain time and that dictates who you are, but you're already that and you're coming in at that time and place. That would be another way to look at it. So check this out, because this is interesting. And if they've done something similar to actually really create meaningful calculation changes, and these prove out in terms of the thing that's interesting with astrology is that it's been proven for, it has a difficult time proving itself with real predictive value. And so it's typically then just used as an as-if exercise. So you can use it almost kind of like pulling a tarot card and getting some ideas that you can explore. But astrology does have this potential to actually have good predictive value. You just need to be able to calculate those influences effectively. And of course, masters in India and throughout Asia have been able to have that success in prediction through probably largely spiritual consciousness calculations that they're able to read these things. They see the changes in they see the influences in your face and your body structure, and can read very specific details of your karma through these physical manifestations, even the placement of a specific mole and so on. So if you're into that, you may have read and heard these kinds of stories, but then you try to equate that back to like a Western newspaper astrology reading, which is really for fun and like an as-if exercise only. So FutureView.app is attempting to apply real, actual calculations to forecasting. And so I would call this in the experimental phase right now, with some early promising results. So go ahead and check it out for yourself, see how well it aligns for you. And then once you have your date analysis, you can look at your soulmates and you can try to match that up accordingly. Now, some of these pages, one of my elements of feedback is they could do a much better job at explaining the why, the what, the how, and the what if of all this, right? They should use like a 4 learning styles framework where the why is specifically saying, hey, here are the benefits that you can get. And here are the pains and challenges that you could avoid or remedy by doing this. Then the what, then they should do a really good job of explaining the theory, the philosophy, the mechanisms that they're using to explain this. Because for a what learner, if you don't know the what, it's hard for you to go with it. And then the how, they should give a really specific recipe of action steps to take. Do this first, kind of like I'm doing in this video, but do this first, then do this, then do this, then do this, right? So you can go through and you could even have like a progress of here's the step that you're on, here's your next step, and so on, and kind of gamify it and maybe unlock some sort of like achievement once you've done all of those. Maybe connect it back to, now here's the other thing that I'm just mentioning right now. This company has at least one token, and I'll include that contract address down below. It's called Future Coin. And it's connected to this business in a unique way, in that they are going to use the profits from this business as buyback pressure on the token. So they will be buying back their token from a percentage of profits from this app. Now, I've heard some mention about there being some other buybacks and opportunities or early adopter token drops and so on. We'll have to see what kind of unfolds there, but that's interesting as well. So that's my feedback for this app overall. It should have a really clear why, what, how, and what if structure, where the why is the benefits and challenges, the what is the theory and the philosophy, and maybe some interesting case studies or links to those. The how is the exact recipe of action steps and like a progress report for here's what you've done and here's what you have left to do. And some like rewards and incentives along the way. And then the what if, which is really what's your next action step and what's like the unlock there. So maybe that's the what if, right? Taking action and learning it. Okay. And then I think the other what if that would be valuable is they should really incentivize the feedback of this app, whether that's with FutureView token or something else. Encouraging people to share their results, their case studies, their stories, their testimonials. That seems to be a big part of the growth strategy here. Okay, what else? So then you can also forecast. And like this is a page that, again, could use some more explanation. This is based on your data and looking at, well, how does that relate to the energies of today? So it says it's bad for viral marketing. Maybe I should be doing this video on another day, but we're going to give it our best here. So you can see it gives you a variety of things here based on your elements, or no, this is based on the elements of the day, what's strong and what's weak based on the elements of today. So here we are, 2/19/2024. Okay. Lucky date of birth. Find lucky and unlucky birth dates. Please enter a date. That's my date. Find unlucky and unlucky birth dates. I'm not sure that I've done this. Let's check it out. Clicking. All right, well, it's taking a while. That's one thing. Here we go. Okay. So results, year, rat, month, rooster, day, pig. These are lucky and unlucky dates. So the general concept here, but again, this would be helpful. Like there's a lot of data here, and I think the average user could use a handhold to understand what exactly is happening here. But enemies suggest unlucky. Soulmates is lucky. That's kind of a translation here as far as I can tell. And these are the dates. These could be potential birth dates of other people. This could be dates that were lucky or unlucky for you in relationship. But I think this page needs more explanation. There's just so much here, and it's hard to know what exactly to do with this, how exactly to use this. So then you have your compatibility. And this is combining two different birth dates. So take yourself and your partner, or somebody you're dating, or a business partner, something like that, and compare yourself and see how those two line up. I'm not going to use up one of those just right now. Then we have the health diagnosis. And this is using your elements to specifically say what is, what's predicted based on your elements here. So for me, for Earth, you're being taken advantage of, you're carrying the burdens of others, your kidneys are being attacked, your sexual function and hearing is weakened. And then also like typos, obviously. Interesting. And then you can unlock remedies. One use is left. So really, I think what health is trying to do is determine what are some weak areas, and then what are the remedies that you can unlock. And this is really similar to Jyotish as well, where they'll look at the position of your birth chart and whatever else, and will determine what's weak in your chart. And then they'll prescribe things like astrological bangles and rings and otherwise to help to remediate that weakness. So it seems like a similar concept here. Okay, location. Location is only for premium members. That's not me yet. You'll be given your geo supercharging locations and directions. So I think this is really powerful. I think this is where people should do this. They should go to those locations. They should sort of film their experience. They should talk about what's, what happened once they were there, once they left. That would be interesting to hear some stories around. And those could be aggregated. And so those could be like incentivized and added to the what element of this website in terms of case studies that will enhance the theory and the philosophy with real life examples. Here's the current pricing model. So you can basically go on these kind of per use basis, or you can go premium. Right now that's at just $39 per month, and it will give you these individual, like, it seems like right now, this is interesting, 60-month destiny forecasts. So these are some different products that you can get within this. I guess premium subscription comes right here, and then you could like get a standalone one if you just click on one of these tabs. And that's a PayPal PayPal situation at that point. Okay. Cool. So that's what I've got for you for today. And let me know what you think about this app, about the concept. Have you used it? Do you have any interesting elements? And then here is OTC_Bitcoin. And he was just reflecting on a particular thing he's been studying just now that has to do with your parents and grandparents and how that influences things like your wealth and your ability to have children and so on. So always an interesting person with the projects he's involved in, great with technical analysis. And so he's the person who exposed me to this particular project.